Man. That's crazy. I've came to the conclusion that telling the truth is a optional task in life. We are obligated to tell the truth. Nope. We are obligated to have an opinion, but we are not obligated to tell the truth. Now, it's a desirable trait to be honest, but almost impossible to be totally honest, because I will say we encounter scenarios that we don't know the complete truth and we express our opinions, which creates a sense of dishonesty, because you're either all the way 100%, or if you're not all the way 100%, you'll have a sense of dishonesty. So if you're like openly truthful, you have to be completely doing something. And I'm not making this comment, and this conversation is not anything negative toward any recent interaction or any situation I have encountered, but I have noticed we have this thing in life where we want to accept that people lie, and it's nothing wrong with it, really, because I say it like this: my opinion and my approach to the thoughts of lying is more about did you have to lie? Scenarios you gotta lie, yes, and you gotta lie because that lie comes so natural. It's like it's a concept we like to say: live today to fight tomorrow. And sometimes in situations where the outcome of the current situation, the emotions are so elevated that it's best to lie at the moment, because if you lie at the moment, you're creating the opportunity to deal with the truth later. I would definitely say that. And also, it's not that people lie. It's really important to communicate and try to learn why the individual felt it was appropriate to lie at that moment, because the person receiving the information wants the truth. Always you want the truth. But part of getting the truth is trusting the person who's telling you. So, a lot of times I have communications and conversations with people that I don't trust, and when they give me an answer, I live with it, because if I'm creating any doubt, I'm just as bad as the person giving me the information. If I trust you to tell me something, you don't tell me, I did my part. I trusted you to tell me. But if you don't tell me, I deal with the situation. But if you give me information and I don't believe you or trust you, I'm just as bad as that person who I feel is not telling me the right information. I should not put myself in those situations, around where I make one feel they can't be at a comfortable level of truth. You don't always want 100% of the truth. You want the most, you want the scale to tilt in your favor. You don't want the complete truth, a lot of times, It sounds like a good idea until you're doing it, We make those mistakes a lot in life. This is a good idea, let's do it. And then in the midst of doing it, you're like, I didn't thoroughly think about this. And that's okay. That's part of learning. Because, I definitely say I learn a lot when I'm working with kids. Kids are super vulnerable, not because they're kids. They're super vulnerable because they haven't been able to experience enough life without not being protected. We protect kids like you're supposed to, but at some point you gotta stop protecting them. And we determine at different times of life when we're gonna stop protecting kids, Because my difference is this: what's the difference between a 18-year-old and a kid the day before he's 18? it's the stigma on society that he's 18 and no better. You know, I had a long talk with my best friend the other day, and we were talking about how, like, we have girls, okay? We have girls who love and care for basketball. And then we also discuss how most of the girls who play basketball and make money are gay. But we openly discuss that we don't want to introduce our kids to the homosexual world now. They're kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's one example I was talking about, like, when it comes to the truth. It's like, I don't want my kid to have to encounter this, so I'm going to prevent telling the truth. That's dishonesty, you know what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with that dishonesty. You see what I'm saying? It's all situational. Glass half empty, glass half full. It's nothing wrong with not telling the truth if you know why you're not telling the truth. The problem with not telling the truth is when you encounter yourself in a situation where you're not telling the truth and you don't know why. You just lie for no reason. Because most of the times we lie to protect. You know, a lie hurts, okay? So we're going to lie to prevent you from being in pain. It hurts to lie. Nothing feels good about lying. Because when you're lying, you are at a realization that you can't be truthful. That hurts. That hurts. Now, I'm not saying it's a pain you can't live with, but it hurts if you, like, look yourself in the moment and say, hey, we're going to do what's wrong right now. Like, think about it. You got to do what's wrong. You have to consciously do what's wrong. That's hard. That's hard. Now, it's doing what's right consciously comes natural, all right? But when you have a unnecessary hurdle that's placed in front of your situation, you encounter that moment of being truthful and not being truthful. And when you decide which route you're going to go on, that's a route you got to live with. But you live that route for a reason, you know? You're not waking up every day saying, you know what, I'm going to lie today. I'm going to be a liar. No. That split moment where you're carefully analyzing with the quickness of, should I do something or not? Because I would say I definitely encountered this at work. Man, I don't want to say nothing because people do things for a reason. But I'm learning that if I don't say something, I'm just as bad as they are, you know? If you're doing something wrong and I don't say nothing, I'm being dishonest. I am definitely being dishonest. So you have to really consciously approach it in a manner that you can really deal with. And I'm learning how to deal with it, and I've definitely simplified it. I'm going to listen thoroughly, and as I'm thoroughly listening, I'm listening. And when you're done, I'm going to ask you, do you understand what you're doing? And based off that answer is going to give me the determination of being honest or being dishonest. And, you know, if somebody is effing up and I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to say something, I'm being dishonest. But it's okay. It's definitely okay. It's okay with me being dishonest. It's not a bad thing, me being dishonest. It's a appropriate thing at the moment. And we definitely have to just accept that, you know? You know, if you're like biblical and religious, that's one of, you know, die for our sins. You sin, don't even know you're sinning. But who suffers when you're sinning? See, that's the question, see? When you sinning is who's suffering. A lot of times we internally deal with the suffering, but that internally dealing with it affects other people in a manner. So, nothing wrong with lying. Just know why you're lying.